to my art channel. Without further ado, let's get drawing. Welcome back everybody. So here is the next tutorial from my Woodland creatures set. Today we're going to be doing a cute squirrel holding an acorn. So if you haven't seen the tutorials, the previous ones yet, go ahead and check them out. We've got Mr. Hedgehog and Mr. Fox, and today we are going to be doing this cute squirrel. Okay, so as before and in every time, we are going to do a 12 by 12 inches canvas. We are going to create the drawing guide, turn it on, edit, symmetry, and get the vertical symmetry effect. So to begin with, we're going to be doing the body and the head and then the tail, and then we're going to add the detail and the shadows and everything else. So first of all, choose your colour. I'm going to choose a kind of squirrel brownish colour for this. Not too dark, not too light. I'm going to be using my studio pen. I'm going to bring it down to about 25, 30. And we are going to draw a kind of rugby football shaped head for the squirrel. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do this as so. It kind of probably needs to be a bit more rounded at the top. So as you can see, we're going to drag and drop to colour that in. We are going to add another layer, which we're going to bring underneath the head layer. We're going to draw the body and the feet today in one. So we are going to turn on drawing assist. Okay, and we're going to come down and round, and we're going to create these little feet. Make sure you fill it in with the colour. And we are going to draw a tail. So we are going to add another layer. We are going to create kind of like a curve with a few spiky bits for the tail. So go ahead and do something like this, really bushy looking. And we're going to bring it up and then do some curves this way. And there you have a kind of bushy looking tail. You can also rotate this and make it bigger if you haven't got the proportions quite correct. Okay, so now we are going to draw some ears. So on top, again, create another layer, turn on drawing assist, and we are using the same brown. Draw two cute little ears and some hair. Because our squirrel's got to have a funky haircut. Okay, so now we are going to draw the lighter brown features on the squirrel, on the face and on the belly, and also on the tail. So choose a beige, light brown colour for this, probably more near to a skin colour than anything else. And we are going to do clipping mask layers. So on the body, add a new layer, click clipping mask, and also do the drawing assist for this part because we want it to be symmetrical. And we're just going to draw a round inside belly. Okay, so today's squirrel, he's going to be quite chunky. We are going to do another layer on top of the head layer. Again, clipping mask, turn it on, drawing assist, turn it on. And we're using the same colour, and we are just going to draw a little curved line as so. And we are going to fill it in. Okay, now you can really start to see the squirrel, the base of the squirrel coming together. So for the tail as well, we are going to do a clipping mask, add a new layer, turn on the clipping mask and turn on the drawing assist, and in the same color, just kind of do some highlights on the tail, color them in using the same color. As you can see, like so. And just make sure that they're and they need to go around the form of they need to take the same shape and form as the tail, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it, I think, like that for now, the tail. Okay, we also need to add the lighter beige to the ears. So again, on this one, we're just going to draw it on the ear layer. Whoops. Like that. Okay, now we need some eyes, a nose, a mouth, and some arms. So we're going to add a new layer, choose a black, turn on drawing assist for this layer again. Go with a slightly smaller size brush so you can get the right size and details, and draw 2 little circles for your eyes, a little circle for your nose, just underneath this point here, and a flick for the mouth. Then choose a white for the dots in the eyes, do a couple of little dots here, and a couple of little dots there, and then you can do a small highlight here which will blend. Click on your blending brush, choose the soft blend, and then on here where we've done the highlights, just very slightly blend so that it gives a kind of a cheek, very subtle look. Okay, now we are going to draw 2 arms, so we are going to add another layer on top of all the other layers, choose the brown that we've drawn the squirrel in, and just go ahead and turn drawing assist on again because you want these to be symmetrical, and go ahead and just create. And that happened because I didn't fill my layer in. Now you want to get the proportions right on this, so because we're going to be having a little acorn in the middle, so we're going to want to do them quite longish. So let's try again, make them rounded at the ends, and let's have a look at that. Okay, so there we go. There we have the basis of the squirrel, but we don't want it to look flat like this. We want to give it a little bit of texture, shadow, depth, as we do in all our other drawings. So next step is to add our texture. So for this, we're going to go ahead and choose our charcoal brush, the carbon stick, which I always use for my texture. As you can see, I've got the brush size at about 10, and I've got the opacity at about 16. Now we're going to start with the body. We're going to click alpha lock so that we stay within the layer, and we're going to choose a darker brown than this, and we're just going to go ahead and go around the places that would have some shadow. You know, you don't have to be specific. Then we're going to turn the drawing assist off, and we are going to choose the black, near on black. It doesn't have to be quite so black. We're going to turn the brush up a bit. We're just going to come down here on this left side and on this left foot, like so. We're then going to choose a white, and we're going to come up here on this left side, and we're going to do the same to the head. So find your head layer and click Alpha Lock. We're going to turn the drawing assist off if it's on the assisted tool. We'll go ahead and do some white here this side, and do some black here this side. Do the same to this clipping mask, Alpha Lock. Just go ahead so that it blends in, but we need to turn our drawing assist off first, which I keep telling you to do, but I don't do it. And then do some white highlights this side. Okay, and then we need to do the arms as well and the ears. Now these ears, as you can see, now I've added texture. All of this layer has showed its true colours and where it is. Now you can either move it below the other layers, or you can click on the erase button and just erase those bits that are showing that you don't want to be seen. Okay, and now we're going to do the arms and the ears. So find your arm layer, click on Alpha Lock, make sure that you're on your carbon stick brush, and we're going to want to do some shadow texture underneath the arms, and then some very subtle highlights on the top. And the same with the ears. So let's click on Alpha Lock. Let's just do kind of shine up here on the top, and then very slight on the inside of the ears. Okay, now the tail. We're going to click on Alpha Lock for the tail. And we're going to do the dark black in the corners and on the bottom of the tail. And then we're going to choose the white for our highlights, which are just going to be on the top and on the corners, you know, where just light would catch the squirrel. Okay, so then we are going to add an even darker shadow. We are going to click on top of our two body layers, and we are going to create another layer and use the clipping mask again. We're going to go back to our studio brush, turn it all the way up and turn the opacity all the way down, and choose black. Okay, now we're just going to kind of create a very small subtle shadow, as you can see here, and then here and underneath on the bottom, you know, just kind of where shadow would be. Catching. It really isn't, it needs to be really subtle, because the more shadows that you create, the kind of less real it looks. Obviously it depends what look you're going for. We are going to do the same on the head layer, create a new layer and a clipping mask, and we're just going to create a very subtle shadow here on top, which we're going to bring across to the ears and the hair. So again, a new layer and a clipping mask, and just bring the shadow across here, as you can see. And then on the tail again, so let's do clipping mask, new layer, clipping mask above the tail layer. And we're just going to go ahead and just very subtle. There you go. And on the arms, last but not least, just do very, very small like so. Okay, so now we are going to draw the grass underneath and create that extra shadow. So you now need to group your layers, so swipe to the right on all of these layers that you've drawn and group. And now we have a new group which we're going to duplicate. We duplicate by swiping left. Then we are going to click on the group, on the bottom group, and flatten. Then we are going to move our top group up a little bit higher. And we are going to make sure alpha lock is turned on for this. And we're going to fill it with black. So choose your black color and then click on the layer and click fill layer. Turn the opacity down to about 40, 30, probably near on 25%. And then just turn that layer off because you don't need that for this second right now. Add an extra layer and make sure you've got your inking pen. Go ahead and turn the opacity up. Choose a color for your bottom setting for your background. I'm going to go ahead and do this green color. And we're just going to do, as we've done in all our other videos, a very abstract type grass, which is where our shadow is going to come down on. And then we are going to alpha lock this layer, choose our charcoal carbon brush again, and as before, do some dark and do some light. Now we also want to make sure that we've got the dark right underneath where the squirrel's sitting. So we're going to bring this layer down right underneath, and then we can see where he's standing, our squirrel, but I want him right on the very top. So I'm just going to bring this down ever so slightly. And then with my dark brush that I'm using for texture, we're just going to do a little squiggle underneath Mr. Squirrel, and then do some highlights as well on the corners and on the sides, like so. We are now going to turn on this layer which we filled in with black, and we are going to turn him upside down and flip him horizontally, and then we are going to do clipping mask. And as you can see now, we have a very subtle shadow but very effective on our grass underneath. Okay, so there you have Mr. Squirrel. I'm going to turn off my drawing guide so that I can now see my drawing, and we are going to draw an acorn which we're going to put into his hands. So an acorn's really easy to draw. We're going to go and do it in this corner. We're going to add a new layer, and we're going to choose a dark brown, not quite black, a darker brown. We're going to choose our inking brush, and we are going to draw a curved line. Turn it down a little bit so that you can get the detail. Just a small curved line like so, and then kind of like a U-V shaped underneath. Then we are going to just thicken that top line up. We're going to choose an even darker brown, and on top we're going to draw the acorn, its hat, as I like to put it. So with the hat you need a curve, so just do it like that. If you hold your pen down, then you'll be able to get the exact curve that you want. Fill it in, drag and drop, and then do the the acorn handle. Okay, now we are just going to go ahead and alpha lock the acorn. We are going to add some texture with our charcoal brush. So again, just a little bit of black here on the bottom, a little bit of lighter brown gold colors here on this side. Nothing too major, really simple. And then we are going to choose our black color, go back to our inking brush and turn the brush size down so we can get some detail. And we're just going to draw some very simple lines just so that you can see in which way the acorn's going. Now, because this acorn is going to be really small, you really won't be able to see it. Then we are going to put up our inking brush right to the top and the opacity down. And then we're just going to do some shadow on the bottom. So like I said, you really can't see, you know, the detail. We're just going to blend the shadow line ever so slightly so that it softens it up a bit. And then we are going to probably change this brown colour because it's very similar to the acorn. Let's just see. Just drag and drop and play about with colours until you get the perfect colour that you want. And then you're going to move your acorn in between the squirrel's hands, and you're just going to, you know, make it the right size so you can play about with that. And then you can change your background colour. And there you have little Mr. Squirrel. Okay, so thanks for watching and watch out for the next video. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because it really helps me in creating more free videos for all of you out there. So if you want to come and join my Procreate group, the links are in the description. I'd love for you to be a member of my group. We can share awesome ideas, tips and artwork. Also, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram so that I can see what work you've created from this awesome tutorial. So love to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.